getting it right, you got to get it right now, because if you don't do it on meditation course weekend, you're not going to do it when you're going to have a busy day. It doesn't work. So take your position properly. Not wander around and knock people. Next. Next should have been counting your breath. Okay? Some people have their head a little too low. Okay? If your head's too low, bring your chin up. Don't bring it up too high. It should be straight. I like to think of a spot in the air that my nose is stuck to. And then the nose comes down and then I bring it back up to that spot in the air. A little bit, get your head straight, and sometimes move the spot up about an inch, which forces you to lean forward just slightly. Very slightly lean forward. You should be concentrating on the feeling of the air hitting the inside of your nose. Your nose should be where your mind is staying right now. Helps me if I move my elbows out a little bit away from my body. You might try that. Okay, next. That should be taking refuge. Take an active refuge. Plan an active refuge this afternoon with the person you don't like. Think about, there's a person who is giving you steady trouble, maybe once a day or once every 2 days. Think about them. Think about taking an active refuge, which means next time they irritate you, you'll think of their emptiness and think about how what you're seeing is a result of your own projections. And if you get irritated, if you get upset, if you say something, if you think something, you'll have to see them more like that. It'll come back to you like that. That's how karma works. Okay? Take an active refuge like that. That is a true active refuge. It's the only thing that protects you. thinking about bodhicitta, and specifically, although we can't be sure, pick a person that seems to be making more suffering for themselves. They seem to be reacting negatively to negative things. And since you understand how karma works with empty things, now you know they are creating more suffering for themselves. And think about them. Think about a person like that. And wish that you could help them. Break the cycle. Next. That was bringing a holy being into the place to meditate with you. Few people have their head cocked off to the side. Straighten up your head. For goodness sake, don't visualize a tanka. Visualize a person. Bow down to them, which means think of at least one of their good qualities. Okay? I like to think about the one that they can read my mind, and they want me to be happy. Like they are plotting to make me happy. Next. That's making them an offering. And be creative. Make them something incredible. You know? Think of something extraordinary. You're not limited by your credit card anymore. Sweetest thing is to offer them part of your practice. Make sure your mouth is loose, okay? Don't tighten up the corners of your mouth. Make a face and loosen it up. That's purification. That's thinking of something specific, okay? We don't want, and it doesn't help to think, I'm a jealous person, or I get grumpy sometimes, or something like that. We want a video playback, or audio if it was mental, of exactly what you said, exactly what you thought, with exactly that person that you don't want to think about. Yesterday, at 3 o'clock. Next. That's rejoicing. And we want equal airtime and equal effort. Okay? Most Americans are into confessing and they can't rejoice worth anything. Okay? We want to know one great thing you did in the last 24 hours. Especially for somebody else. Even if it was small. Something specific. Asking for teachings. Sorry, I cheated. From lamas and from people around you all day long in the next 24 hours. See if you have any chingwa coming. Okay? Obvious chingwa. Didn't get enough sleep last night. Had too much breakfast. Getting warm. Okay? Before you meditate, strip off all those layers. Watch the small of your back, the bottom of your back, just above your butt. Try to move it in towards your belly button a little bit, okay? Not so much that it hurts. but just slightly. Ask your teachers to stay in your life and your Dharma friends, the ones who support you. You might try leaning slightly forward from your hips and finding a balance with your arms. It's like a tripod, a little bit like a tripod. You can sit longer if you do that. Okay? Your back is very straight. You move slightly, you lean slightly forward from your hips, like a laptop computer. Okay? And then your hands are like taking a little bit of the weight. At this point, you can shift slightly. Don't lose your position. Don't move too much. But if you have to move a leg or move an arm or something, do it at this point. We had these flies brought in from South America to see if you could concentrate and ignore them. I've never seen anyone killed by a fly yet. Just let them crawl around. It's okay. Okay, go back to your breath. Which means to go back to the feeling of the breath on the inside of the nose. And keep your mind there. You can either leave your eyes open or leave them closed, or leave them cracked half open and gazing downwards, which is probably best. But if you choose to close them, don't close them too hard. Again, your face should be relaxed and loose, and even if your eyes are closed, it should be very loose, and not like you're grimacing or something. Think of somebody who has a big problem, somebody you know who has a big problem, physical or mental. Imagine that you are with them, no more than 4 or 5 feet away, in their room where they live. You know where they live or where they're staying. They cannot see you, but you're there. See their problem as a blackness in their chest. You know, concentrate all their problem into their chest. A little tiny piece of black, like a marble, the size of a marble. I like to make it out of asphalt, you know, gooey, ugly, pure black, nasty. Decide that you're going to take it away from them and destroy it. On your in-breath, make your breath very long, very gentle. As you breathe in, imagine that that blackness is coming out of their chest, up their throat, into their nose, and it's slowly coming out of their nose like smoke, like a stream, a very thin stream of blackness. And each time you take an in-breath, bring it closer to you, so like it's sucking cigarette smoke out of them or something. When it gets very close to your face, stop and let it sit there. Don't let it touch you yet. So the blackness is still sitting in front of your own nose. And then focus on your heart. Focus at your heart. And see a very bright flame, like a candle flame. Very steady, very bright, about 1 inch high. That represents your selfishness, okay? I say okay, then you're going to take one deep in-breath, and the blackness is going to come down through your nostrils, down your throat, to your heart. And as it gets close to the flame, slow it down like slow-mo. See it get closer and closer to the flame, and then when it touches the flame, there's like this flash bulb goes off, and the flame blows out, and the blackness is just totally obliterated. It's destroyed completely, and all there is left is this little smoke that just kind of disappears, okay? So the blackness is burnt up into a little tiny piece of smoke, and the smoke just dissipates into the air, okay? So when I say go, get ready. Okay, go. And now focus on this person again and imagine that they don't have any of that problem anymore. Totally, totally freed. If it was like physical problem, they're completely healthy and young. If it was a mental problem, they're absolutely happy and relaxed and contented. Okay? Focus on them and imagine them. Now bring yourself back here and focus on the Lama in front of you, the being in front of you. Ask them to come into you and bless you for the whole day. And then they are happy and they rise up, getting smaller and smaller. They come down on the top of your head and face the same way as you. Then they're down about 3 inches high, small, getting smaller. Prepare a place for them in your heart, okay? A nice flower, gold ambient light, beautiful cushion, velvet cushion on the flower.